In this video, we discuss why Portugal might be the ultimate retirement escape clause, both financially and spiritually. Coming up next on Holy Schmidt.
Holy Schmidt!
One of the nicest things about being retired is that the rules of where you live and how you live are basically thrown out the window. You don't need to live near work because you're not working anymore. You don't need to move into a good school district because your kids have grown and are out on their own. And you don't need to worry about the establishments that you normally hang out at because frankly your friends are either still working or they themselves may have moved away. In short, the world is wide open and many people, many retirees, look to Portugal as the ultimate escape to both the costs of today and the environment of today. Portugal offers many lifestyles with many different experiences, from a vibrant expat experience all the way to a very quiet, solemn experience if you want to be on your own. The important thing to note is that there are over 7,000 Americans living and retired, many of them, in fact most of them are retired, in Portugal. That's about 11% of the total 60,000 expat population in the country. This, from a population with 10.3 million inhabitants, is not a small number. You may, for example, decide to step back and live in a more serene location and play golf all day. That's absolutely fine because of the world-class golf courses that exist in Portugal. Portugal has over 70 golf courses, and while this may seem like a small number, consider the fact that it takes less than 6 hours to drive from the very top to the very bottom of the country. Perhaps you want to explore one of the 150 castles, 18 beaches, or one of the many wineries that are available to you. In fact, port wine gets its start in Portugal. Or perhaps you're a city dweller and you want to spend most of your time in Lisbon, one of the most civilized cities in Europe. This country has many cities to call home, and in this video we'll discuss some of the most popular for retirees from the United States. First up is the Algarve, home to some wonderful beach towns, some fantastic restaurants, and amazing golf courses. The Algarve is an area comprised of 1,929 square miles and has a residency of 500,000, just under 500,000 permanent inhabitants. The region is divided into two zones, the west and the east, and tourism is the major trade during the summer months. Production of food like seafood, fruits, and vegetables are a major provider of economic activity, especially during non-summer months, and so the residents in this area get some of the best food in the country. The Algarve is still considered the most important tourist attraction in the country and has over 7 million visitors per year. The next city is Tejo, where frontier towns, beaches, and castles sit on mountaintops overlooking it all. The Tejo region has a Mediterranean climate, typically hot to very hot, particularly inland during most of the year. As you approach the ocean, things get considerably cooler. During the summer months, temperatures are often in excess of 100 degrees inland and between 75 and 80 as you are at or near the beach. And as you would expect, given those temperatures, winters are relatively mild and somewhat wet. Then there's Porto. This wonderful city dates back 2,700 years and is home to some magnificent churches, some fantastic wineries, of course, port wine is from here, and also some wonderful beachfront property and beachfront living. Porto is 3 hours by train from Lisbon, but it is fiercely proud of what distinguishes Porto from Lisbon and the differences between the two cities. It sits on the Douro River, as does most of the port wine. Much of Porto is made of granite. In fact, the Romanesque cathedral is stout and stony, as it's been described, but the entire city has a very Romanesque feel to it. The city's shopping area is ornamented with a lovely blue tiled facade. Porto was spared the earthquake of 1755, so the city is still very charming, very old world. A lot of the original architecture is well maintained and there for you to go explore. The city has the traditional seagull sounds, cool breezes, and everything you would expect in terms of ever-changing weather from an oceanfront city. In fact, while there, you'll likely get sun and rain at the same time, and this causes the locals to say that a widow is about ready to get remarried. The two most photogenic aspects of the city are the river, of course, and also the port wine and the port wineries. the whole production of port wine, in fact. Finally, there's Lisbon, the country's historic capital. From the Jorge Castle, the view is laden with pastel colors for the viewer to appreciate. Lisbon is the third sunniest city in Europe behind Valletta in Malta and Versailles in France. Overall, Portugal has the highest climate rating in the International Living Top 10 Places to Live scale, coming in at 88 out of 100. In terms of language, the country speaks Portuguese, but it is ranked number 7 in the world for ease of people who are English speaking to navigate well. In fact, expats routinely talk about the fact that they don't need to learn the local language to do well in Portugal. The cost of living is about 1/3 of the United States on average. You can live well for about $1,400 a month. You can live like royalty for $2,500 per month. More importantly, there are not the usual trade-offs of safety, culture, and things to do when you pay a lower amount to live in a country. And one of my favorite, Portugal is number 6 on the Global Peace Index, meaning 6 out of 163. The Global Peace Index rates 163 countries and territories based on their overall peacefulness. The Global Peace Index measures the level of safety and security within a country, the extent of ongoing domestic and international conflict, and the degree of militarism that the country exhibits. For reference, Iceland took the number 1 spot, and the United States is at 129. In short, the people are friendly, law-abiding, and it has one of the lowest crime rates in the world. More importantly, a lot of the stuff that you see on television right now just doesn't exist in Portugal. So if you're looking for a peaceful existence without a lot of noise around that existence, Portugal is probably one place that you should consider strongly. If you'd like to learn more about the Global Peace Index, I'll put a link in the description, and as always, I will remind you at the end to check it. The next point is medical care. When moving to another country, many people forget about the fact that they could in fact, and usually do, need medical care at some point, whether it's minor or major. To address this, we need to examine 2 areas about Portugal. What is the cost of medical care, and what is the quality of medical care? Anecdotally, the quality of medical care is excellent. If we look at sites such as International Living again, they rank Portugal as number 1 at 96 out of 100 in their top 10 places to retire list as it relates to medical care. The next point is proximity to the United States. Proximity to the United States is important for people that are from the United States. A flight from Lisbon to New York City takes about 7 hours and costs about $700 currently. My guess is you'll have a lot more people visiting you than you visiting them if in fact you do choose to move to Portugal. Next is the resident visa. To get a resident visa in Portugal, it's quite straightforward. First, you need to show that you have private health insurance. This is something that you can acquire for between $50 and $300 a month, depending on pre-existing conditions. Relatively easy, in fact, to get. Expats will need to demonstrate that they can support themselves and the cost of accommodation while living in Portugal. Finally, they'll need to give permission for a criminal background check. This seems consistent with a country that is peaceful in nature. Don't forget to check the description for the links we talked about earlier. Also, if you like this video and you'd like to see more like it, please make sure you click subscribe and turn on notifications so that you get alerted the next time I post a video. I post about twice a week. Also, check out this video on what to do if you're 60 years old and you have absolutely no retirement savings. This is Jeff Schmidt. Thanks for watching.